So, hi folks, here I am in a hotel in the country. It feels like living in a country home, somebody's actual country lodge than it does a hotel. And it is the perfect place for a writer to complete the third draft of a novel, which is what I've been doing. I've taken time off of my legal business over the last week to complete a novel. The Lambton Worm, it's called. But anyway, the reason I'm logging in is because I wanted to keep things ticking over with my progress with Tinder. And since the last vlog, I've now got into a system. I think it's really quite critically important with this stuff to insulate yourself against being or becoming jaded. That is really, that could be said of so many things in life. You get a bit worn out, you lose your mojo, and really perhaps what separates the men from the boys is the ability to keep enthusiasm. You know, one of my favourite quotes attributed to Winston Churchill is, one definition of success is going from one failure to the next without losing your enthusiasm. And we have to be quite creative about that sometimes, and kind of continually reinventing ourselves. And looking at things afresh. I mean, you need to do this in business. For example, I generate a lot of business for a YouTube channel for my legal business, and it's bedded in. I spent 15 years bedding it in. The inquiries come, but actually, AI has turned up, and I've now got to reframe, restructure, think about how to deal with that, because it kind of has impacted my book and my videos, made them out of date, frankly. So we've always got to do this sort of work. So just to give you an update, I'm sitting in front of my computer. I've broken off from a day's writing work, and I have jumped onto Tinder. Now, I've got this on my desktop now. It's funny how you kind of you know what you need to do in life, but it takes you forever to actually get around to doing it. And then once you do make the change and get around to doing it, you're like, oh, wow, I should have done this a long time ago. This is brilliant. Because I've now making it kind of like part of my job, my work, my schedule, not to be playing with the phone every 5 minutes and seeing whether or not I've got any matches, but to just being quite systematic about it. So, you know, I've got my Tinder up there, and I've got my matches, and I just wanted to tell you that the system that I've got in place and bedded down since the last vlog is, and this is so important because if you don't create a structure and a system, you can't measure your results and fine-tune the direction of travel. So it almost doesn't matter what the structure is and how you build it into your life, but you do need to build it into life, and you need to build this structure. My structure is gold, boost. I only boost on a Sunday for as long as the boost goes. Then the next day, the next night, Monday night, whenever, I will check to see if there are any matches. And then I will send messages. Now, yesterday's quite a good example. I didn't get round to doing much last weekend. Anyway, yesterday, which is a Friday, I because I haven't got round to the matches on Boost, I didn't get round to them until Friday, and I went through and I sent a bunch of messages. Hard work, took me about an hour, and I used Chat GPT. So I've got Chat GPT open alongside the Tinder page on my desktop, and I draft the message. So here's an example of a message I've drafted. Hello, name, smiley face. For how long have you been living in Cannes? You've clearly mastered the art of being photogenic in superb and classy settings. How about adding fun date with me to your collection? Tinder greetings, couple of champagne glasses. And then ChatGPT, then, because you've got to be careful, if you just use ChatGPT, girls will know that it's been written by ChatGPT. So you need to do a bit of the initial work. And then it's come back to me and it's said, it's changed it, given me some tips and changed it to how long you've been living in Cannes. Looks as though you've mastered the art of finding beautiful places and looking completely at home in them. I suspect there's a good story behind that. Tinder greetings. It suggested putting a little hook that a girl can follow up on and tell you the story of why she's in Cannes. She's Polish. So that's the system I follow. I then just send it. I actually had a whole bunch of matches and sent about 8 messages. So it's quite a long haul, over an hour. But they have to be pretty interesting and pretty good and well thought out. That's the hard graft once you've got your profile sorted. And so out of that 8, it might have been 10, I have, over the last 24 hours, got 3 responses. And just now, I've left it 24 hours because the system is, I'm not to be on my phone. So I do not want the interruption. A mature, kind of established guy doesn't have time anyway to be on your Tinder phone. And a girl, if she's worth the salt, will know that and get that. And anyway, I've just been discussing it with Tinder. At some point, I will say to the girl, after there's a little bit of fun on Tinder, I'm not on Tinder all that often. I'm not Tinder's biggest fan in terms. I prefer to be on the phone and meeting. We exchange contact details, get them onto WhatsApp or Telegram, whatever. So that's the system I've got in place. Yeah. The girls I'm meeting are in their 30s. This one's late 30s. One was 40. Others are in their 30s. Occasionally, I get tempted to send messages to 20-year-olds. Because you do, don't you, as you're swiping. And I'm also finding that I'm not, even if a girl's attractive, if she's got in her bio, don't call me if you're this, that, and the other. Only interested in X. If she's saying negative things in her profile, well, fine, she might be a beautiful person, but I can only deal with what's in front of me, and that's an unattractive vibe, and I don't really want to engage with an unattractive vibe. So I tend to, and if I find a super attractive girl I'm interested in, but I'm not quite sure, if she's got a bio, I will super like her. I'm not actually sure whether super likes make any difference when you're on Boost, but anyway, I super like her. And so I use the bio as sort of, and if she's kind of, I'm not all that attracted, but her bio is great, yeah, I will also match her. So what I'm discovering is it's just with that structure, Boost on Sundays, an hour messaging, and let's say out of 10 or 15 matches over a couple of weeks, I get 3 or 4 replies to my opening message. That's a pretty good ratio. That's something I can work with, and I can go forward with. So if I can figure it out, I will put some of these messages up on the screen. I've got limited time to do these vlogs, I'm afraid. So I'm using an editing app on my phone, but I'll try and add some of the messaging, because quite frankly, this isn't my business. I'm not earning money. You guys watch this because it's real. You're following a journey and you're learning from it. You can go to 100 million places on YouTube to get these are the 5 key things to help you to master Tinder. What I can offer is I can share the journey that I'm on, document it, and you can trust the integrity of the information you're getting. Because you can't, can you, on YouTube a lot of the time? You really can't. I'm not sure whether I should be showing girls photographs. Anyone got any thoughts or comments on that? Email me. I'm not, on the whole, although I accidentally showed one just then, because I think it's a difficult issue for me, because I want you to see that I am meeting girls that I'm genuinely attracted to and are genuinely attractive, and matching with those girls. Just on the day game front, I've been quite quiet with daytime approach. Over the past month, I've approached 2 girls in the streets in Warsaw. One was just a brush off. I was really quite, excuse me, do you mind if I just say? Afterwards I thought, come on Alex, if you're going to approach a girl, you got to go for it. And the second one was a Ukrainian in the gym, actually, where I go. And actually that was a good, strong interaction, and we exchanged telephone numbers. And I think it's important, even if you kind of like feeling, well, I want to break from approaching girls during the daytime, to keep it ticking over. Because if you do get any of these girls out on dates, if I do get any of these girls out on dates, you want to be comfortable and enjoy the date. And there's no better way of getting socially calibrated than approaching people and having conversations. So just to recap on my history with Tinder of the last 6 months, there's been about probably 5 girls that I've had dates with, maybe 4 or 5. And none of them have gone forward because I wasn't interested. One was, she showed herself as being just too young for me, not yet emotionally mature enough for me to want a long-term relationship with. One was, I don't think she was in the right place, in a different city, but also I don't think she was ready for a relationship. One, I wasn't all that attracted to, so I didn't follow up with after the date. These are all girls I've dated. And there are 1 or 2 others that I can't remember off the top of my head. So I will keep you posted. Bye for now.